Hi, Pilar. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. And you?
I'm really good. Thank you. Thank you for accepting the invitation and for doing this interview. So we've been working together like since a little bit more than 2 months, and now you basically, went through the process. You got great results, and today you wanted to share a little bit, like your experience with me and your experience through the healing with soul therapy. Can you maybe introduce you a little bit, your name, where you come from, what you're doing in life?
So I'm Pilar Milan. I am originally Spanish.
Mhm.
I grew up in Japan. I've lived in several countries. So I consider myself a quite international, yeah, multicultural person.
Mhm.
And right now I work for an NGO in communications, actually.
Great, great, great. And can you explain us, so what was like the main issue when you decided to start the program?
So the main issue was that I felt that something was wrong with most, if not all of my intimate relationships.
Mhm.
And I thought that there was something I had to do, definitely. And healing was like a keyword, but I didn't know how to get there. I tended to psychoanalyze myself a lot. I tried different types of therapies, but nothing worked.
Okay.
And then when I heard about, hypnotherapy and, that it went a bit beyond into the subconscious, I thought maybe that's what I need because consciously I'm very aware.
Mhm.
But yeah, that wasn't enough.
Okay, nice. So can you explain, because you said that you understood that healing was the key, and specifically for your relationships. Maybe can you explain that, because I know like not everyone are aware of that.
So the thing is, I felt that there was something that was, quote unquote, wrong with me,
Mhm.
in the sense that tended to be the common denominator of all my um, unfulfilled, so romantic or however you want to call it, relationships. Because at work it was fine, with friends it's cool, but there was something that when it got more into the deeper feelings, um, something didn't work, and I had the feeling that, yeah, in the day to day, in the relationship with the person, it seemed okay, but there was something more intrinsic, more that went beyond, just the physical awareness of what was going on. So I said, this must have to do something with the subconscious. It definitely has to do with healing because, like all of us, I have a lot of issues from the past.
Mhm.
And I said the only way to probably heal them is to go into something that goes beyond, just the consciousness.
Yeah.
And it was especially because I think I have a defense mechanism where I block
Yeah.
a lot of the, negative feelings, negative memories. So if you ask me what went wrong in your childhood that you think, it's so difficult to say, but once you get into the depths, then it's much easier and it really comes out.
Yeah, that's very interesting what you're saying, because I think like what you said is true for most of us. Uh, we are not aware because it's the subconscious. So subconscious is basically something that we're not aware. We have some habits, we have some defense mechanism, like you were saying, but we're not even aware of that, and we're not also aware that he has something to deal with how we grew up, or like the way we've experienced the past. So it's very interesting what you're saying. And you were saying that you try many other therapies. So what did you try before that didn't work for you?
So, so what I tried was basically, yeah, just like normal psychotherapy. And it was a bit like I was just explaining my life.
Okay.
But the fact of the matter is, I think the therapist behind did not manage to understand. There were a lot of also, well, it's my perception, but I have a feeling that they were interpreting what I was saying and they were jumping to conclusions that weren't necessarily the correct ones because they only had that superficial surface
Yeah.
of what was happening and they didn't really have the background.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. And I think, yeah, so maybe you can explain what do you think was different in this program and in this kind of therapy? What do you think is different from what you've done before?
So what I'm sure is different is the fact that it really makes you go into the nature of yourself. So why we react the way we react, why we feel the way we feel, you know, like, I've had abandonment issues, like rejection. I wanted, I've always been a people pleaser. Why is that? I think I got to understand really who I am. And I think that's the key to be able to heal is unless you really know who you are, how can you work on yourself?
Yeah, truly. um, and what would you say? So when you meet me, basically, what convinced you to say, okay, this is the work that I have to do with me? What basically convinced you to start this program?
So one of the things that I really appreciated was that you were listening.
Mm.
So it wasn't just a one-way sort of me spilling out everything, and you were just, you were really there, listening, and I think everything you said, because you were trying to understand, because you went to deeper levels, it really, like all the stuff that you told me resonated with me. So then, I guess it opens you up somehow again on a subconscious level where you feel understood, you feel like that's someone who you can really talk to, and that they're talking, they're speaking in your same language, so to speak.
Okay, nice. Appreciate. Thank you. Thank you for this feedback. And yeah, I think it's very important, like the connection that we have in the therapy. For me, that's why I always like to talk to people before we start to work, because it can be also me that don't have the feeling with the person or feel that the person is not
Mm.
ready, and I know that we're not going to be a good fit. So I think it's very yeah, paramount for you who's watching the interview that when you choose someone and when you want to work with someone, it's see how the feeling, if it fits or if it doesn't fit,
Right.
is very yeah, paramount for good therapy. So it's
Yeah.
very.
So just sorry, just one thing. So exactly what you said, I think those 30 minutes of the introduction that we had, it really made me feel like, yeah, this is it. I'm gonna go for it.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. And did you have any fear before you start the program, or maybe for people who's watching and have maybe the idea, okay, maybe I should do it, but I'm not sure. We always have a fear to do this work because it's basically something uncomfortable. It's going through, like you say, shadow or restricted emotion. But what was your fear, and what can you say to these people who has the same fear that you had?
So I think basically the fear was not about expressing myself because I've done that so many times, with friends, family, and therapists. It was the fear of, again of saying, oh, it's just going to be another of those
Yeah.
therapies where I'm going to end up in the same way as I started. I've told, Siam like half my life or all my life, and then it's going to, to be to no avail.
Yeah.
So it was just the fear of, so to speak, failure again to say, it's not, the healing is not going to happen. Mm.
Okay. And what would you say to those people who has the same fear? Because I know it's a fear that we all have actually, like, is it going to work for me? Is it not going to be a failure? Like you said, it's like a deep fear that we can have. What would you say to these people who might have the same fear than you had before?
So basically, I think it's the best therapy I've had ever because I don't know how to explain it. And I think that's the reason why it plays a lot with the subconscious is that I feel everything is going to be all right. Right now, I don't want to jump into a relationship, which is what I used to do all the time because I felt lonely. I felt I needed to be with someone to complement myself. Now I feel so much better about myself that I say, okay, the next, guy that comes around, it has to be someone who's worth it, but then I need to be okay with it. It can't be, just anyone. So I think that, there's absolutely no fear right now about the fact that the next person will be the right one. And if she's not, then I will have all those red flags which really, ring and, which really come out. And then I will say, okay, too bad, but this is not for me. So I have a feeling, I'm confident I will know.
Nice. Very nice. And so what would be like your biggest moments during this program? What did you like the most about this program?
Well, I think as I said before, I discovered myself, at, my age, it's difficult to say, I don't know myself, but I have a feeling there was a lot of that. And because we went into the subconscious, because we went into, more deeper levels. And I mean, people I think have an issue with, hypnotherapy or something like that, because they think they're going to be, asleep and be manipulated or something. Absolutely not. You are consciously aware, 100% of what's happening. You're just in a very relaxed state.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I think, yeah, from here on, I mean, it's not only about the relationships that I will have. I think it'll, and the romantic or intimate or whatever you want to call it, relationships, but I think it's going to help, family relationships, friendships, work, everything, because you've sort of transformed or evolved as a human being. I mean, it's very transcendental, but I think it's really true.
Yeah, nice, beautiful. And so my last question would be like, what would be your best advice for people, who like you 2 months before were like in this kind of like, okay, I'm thinking about doing it, but still not sure. What would be like the best advice that you can share with them?
I would say go for it and dare to go for it, because it's really worth it. And I think in life we take many challenges that in the end, um, you know, we're happy to have taken them, but they're not as transformative as this kind of experience. So I would say, just go for it.
Nice. Thank you, Pilar, for your beautiful testimonial, and wish you the best. And yeah, when I see the
Thank
result,
you so much.
it's gonna be good for you. So
Yeah.
all the best, and it's the new year, 2022. So it's a good start for sure.
Yes. Thank you so much. And really, it comes from the heart. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I
appreciate it.
advise everyone.
Thank you so much, Pilar.
Go ahead. Thanks.
Stay tuned.